Hello, 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 everybody. You're probably wondering why I'm half screen. Well, Chris will be joining me shortly. He was here just a minute ago, but literally within the last, I'm not even kidding you, it was like we were chatting away, and then it was like 5, 4, 3, and then he just went silent. And I was like, what's going on? Why can't I hear you? His entire audio just, I don't know what's going on there. It's a bit weird. So we're going to hopefully try and get him back in now. So let's twiddle with the details. That one, that one, that one. Should be, hopefully, there he is.
Hello?
Say something. There we go. Yes. Can everyone else hear you? That's the question.
Don't know.
Let's go through the hellos as well while we're here. So hello, Paranormal Walks, Robin, Anne, Ranger Paul. Hopefully, there he is. Ted. Is it Kate or Cat? Why am I near myself? Is that coming through your phone, Chris?
Yeah. I was just testing to see if people could hear me or not.
Maltor server. Hello. How you doing? Oh, and Dave. Hello, Dave. Right, first things first, how is everybody? Is everyone good? Chris might have a little
Hello,
bit
Dave.
of
Hello, Dave. Hello, Ranger Paul. So yeah, we got people in this evening. There's 13 people in the house. Wow. Okay. Hello. Hello to Kate, Ranger Paul. Ah, Stu from Paranormal Walks. How you doing, mate? You alright? Robin. Nah. Hello, Robin. I think you've been given the moderator role for YouTube. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did that just now. That's rather loud humming coming from
Hello,
someone's
Twingo
mic.
Paranormal.
Not mine. This is. Someone's saying you got a loud humming coming through, Chris.
A loud humming. There's a loud humming coming through, is there?
Yeah, it's that noise that he's referring to. I've tried to use a noise gate on it, but I can't. I think.
Get rid of it.
Okay. No, I've got bloody caffeine headache. Is that because you're
Ted? Hello, Ted. Is this Ted? Ted Haynes. Is this Ted Haynes?
No, I thought you meant like
different Ted.
Ted, as in Ted, from the movie. Then I was like, what?
Ted Haynes in the feature.
Smash the like button. Oh, there goes the jet engine.
Is that better? Is that better? That must be better now, yeah. Wow.
If anyone can recommend a PS4 cleaning service, that was his PlayStation 4 you could hear in the background, people. It's not healthy, is it?
No, but I've had it a long time, and like, even though I've taken it apart and cleaned it out and done whatever I need to do, it's still shit.
Right, who am I hearing myself? Where's that coming from?
Malta server. Yeah. So there's a loud humming. We've sorted that now. Yeah, Ted Haynes, how you doing, mate? You alright? Good to see you on the live. Been a while.
Chris, I'm getting echo from your end.
Malta server. Yeah. So there's a loud humming. We've sorted that now.
I can hear myself. Can you guys hearing this, or am I going mad?
Yeah, you can't play that, Nicola.
I've turned it off.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I mean, it's bad enough hearing my voice the first time round, let alone the second time round.
Yeah, well, everything should be done now. Everything should be golden.
What?
You can get compressed air. I think he put compressed air on it and a hairdryer on it, and still didn't fix it. So yeah, that's Sony for you, isn't it? Sony PlayStation for you.
Yeah.
So back to the subject at hand. So we're going to be discussing sort of the mad world of the paranormal. So everything that is out there that we've seen, our own perceptions of what we think we've seen, how it affects us, what our beliefs are, who we are as a team, all of this stuff, pretty much. Um, do you want me to start like with with my sort of
I think,
the call I had?
yeah, I think, yeah. So there is a situation Mark's going to cover, guys. So I think it's relevant to our situation now. Um, Even though this is something that happened a long time ago, it's relevant now. So do you want to take it away, Mark? Do it.
Yeah. So prior to the Hoppers Woods that we did, I was on the phone to Purple. He was meant to be coming with us, and he didn't. He didn't bother in the end. But one of the things he said to me on the phone, um, he questioned me. He said, "If you, if the footage you're catching really is happening and it is real, then why are you still calling yourself an open skeptic?" And I was like, well, isn't by definition open skeptic meaning that you're still skeptical but open to the idea? And then he was like, well, now you've actually had stuff, so it's beyond the idea because you've physically seen it, if it's real. So that was a bit of a pickly situation to understand, to be honest with you. Hello to Telford Paranormal and Urbex Investigations and more. I wonder what the more is. So
Yeah, it's a difficult situation with you, Mark, because despite how I feel, other people have said the same thing. And it's a frustrating thing for yourself and even for me because I'm the person there with you. Now, you could say that you're a bit immune to activity, you're a bit immune to things kicking off or getting, worse, and then other people reacting differently to you. So they will have this sort of different outlook on yourself. Even we went to an investigation recently with Billy, and because we haven't seen Billy in a long time and he's come along, we captured something that was weird, and there was a voice that happened in the area, and he was freaking out, and
and
you
I
weren't.
was sat as a cucumber,
Yeah,
like a
and
cucumber on the floor,
even
cool as a
even
cucumber.
he asked you. He said, "Why aren't you freaking out?
Well,
Why?" And
that
you
one
just,
was slightly different because I was physically trying to stay calm.
mm.
Um,
But what's going on inside of you might be different to what you're displaying, But I think Purple, I can understand where he's coming from when he says that to you. You've got all this amazing activity that you've caught on camera, and people are going to call it fake. It's not. It's not. It just ain't. And they're going to
mm,
have their opinions, and they're entitled to their opinions. But you don't. You move on from it very quick, and you want the next thing and the next thing. You don't spend enough time analyzing and pushing it. But then if you do push it, you get accused of over proving or over pushing. So where's the right balance?
mind you, what people don't see is what happens behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
yeah, on camera when something happens, well, we've obviously got to get something into like a 30-minute frame for like area as well. But what they don't see is sometimes when something mental happens, I don't let that go like straight away. I'm calling up people, sending it to people, speaking with other believers, other skeptics, trying to get this objective idea of what the hell has just gone on. And most of the time, it's just left as I don't know.
Mm.
And
So
saying
there,
she
and
thinks
it
there's a,
pays
you know,
pays to be skeptical.
yeah.
She just said it pays to be skeptical. Yes, it does pay to be skeptical, but this is where Mark's got accused of fakery, just being skeptical. Because why would you be so skeptical still, despite all the stuff that you've seen? That's what our issue is. And Mark likes to be skeptical, whether he's open minded or not. He likes to be skeptical. That's what he intended the channel to be. When I met Mark, he was a complete skeptic. He didn't believe in anything. He would, piss in everyone's cornflakes. He would go along to investigations, and he would see a lot of behavior from people, and he didn't believe in any of it, so he would call it out. He would find a rational explanation for it, and then he would turn around and people wouldn't want him there. They would tell him to, go into a different room. They didn't even want to be in the same room as Mark. And I came along with him and I witnessed that happening. People didn't want to be in the same room as him. It was like, why?
Well,
Because he's too skeptical.
it was in effect. It was like, imagine Mr. Grey but on steroids. It was like that. That's what I was like.
Yeah. So I had to take him to a few locations, and I showed him a way of doing things that was different. You didn't have to handheld. You didn't have to do anything the norm of what it was, of what he was doing. And he started taunting, and he started catching things on camera. But the thing is, he had his own personal experiences. It was nothing that anyone tried to prove to him. It was nothing that anyone proved to him. He proved it to himself, because when he walked over that bridge at Snuff Mills, and there's a few people in the chat that I know and in this live that know the place and also understand what goes on there. There's a guy called Ted in the chat who also lives local to that and knows the place. It is a very scary place. Mark went there and he had a personal experience. He walked on the bridge, something ran at him, and he could never explain it, and he still can't to this day.
No.
And that's how he changed.
Robin's saying, because we had an event the other day, by the way, and thanks to everybody that attended that and joined in with that and came along with us. That was great. She's pointing out that there was a moment where I had a scratch mark on the back of my neck, and to this day I'm still going, well, I could have caused it myself by doing this with my top. Now, okay, sometimes I'm rationalizing, probably more to
calm yourself down.
Yeah, so I don't get like freaked out. So I go, I'm like, right, otherwise I'll end up like losing my marbles if I thought something actually scratched me. Like I just so I sort of have to go, oh no, I'm not having that. What's people saying anyway? Not everything is paranormal. Sometimes it can be rationalized. You've got to be realistic and be balanced, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what does everybody else actually here think about me keeping a status of skepticism? Not complete skepticism, but I'm open-minded to the idea, but I don't outright go, well, yeah, this is ghosts, this is demons,
I'm just playing devil's advocate with you here, mate. I do think it is frustrating for us as a team. Not you, but it's frustrating for everyone else, because we see and hear things and catch things on camera, and then we analyze it and we look at it and we go, right, okay, we're looking at it as a complete different view to you. You want to find out what the rational cause is first before you can even consider it not normal. You struggle using terms like spirit or ghosts or paranormal. You struggle with those words. You don't want to use those words. And a lot of people are like, why don't you stand up for your footage? Why don't you stand by your footage? But because you're getting unusual things, what a lot of groups probably don't get, and you've caught it on camera, and you still act spoiled over it.
Dave's right in what he just said there. That if someone,
what's Dave saying?
If a deceased person came up to me face to face and told me everything, then I would say it's a spirit of the dead. Of course I would, 100%. That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
That is obvious. But this
as
is
people
what,
can
but
see as
because
well.
I don't know what it is. That's the thing, and I don't think in me saying, well, I don't know what this is, it's not necessarily me saying I don't think there's anything there. That's two different things. I just simply haven't got a foggy on what the hell is going on.
Mark, this is the frustrating part. You have tried to act sincere and you have tried to remain skeptical. You say you're open-minded, but you as a person still get called fake, despite not calling anything paranormal.
That's because those people are dumb. That's because they've only got one agenda, and that's to create some like lies and bollocks about me.
I urge people and beg people to go and watch the new video that I put out called Shadows. Okay, so I have pieced together all the shadows that we have caught over our time. and have a look at them. And I will state this now: we have the raw footage to show anyone, the raw, absolute bone raw. We can
Yes.
show anyone, and it's there, right? There's no explanation for it. We don't we don't turn around and say it's a ghost. We don't turn around and say it's a spirit or a demon. We don't do what those other big teams do and go, oh my god, we caught a demon on camera. No, it's not. It's a shadow. We don't know what that shadow is.
What would
So
convince
we
me?
present it and we show people.
It's not about being convinced, Anne. It's not so much about that. Okay. Right, let's put Haunted the Truth to one side and look at me as a personal individual about my mindset and who I am as a mindset. I fully understand that Haunted the Truth isn't a scientific show about doing scientific experiments, because if it was, we'd be taking basically MRI scanners into locations and hooking them up, right? So I know it isn't that. But for me, you'll remember that I come from like a very scientific minded thinking person, so it isn't about what it is to convince me. It's more everything I do, I analyze and say, okay, what do I know? So if I get, I don't know, this bottle of Gaviscon, for example, I know this is a bottle of Gaviscon, but I don't know that there's Gaviscon inside of this until I taste the Gaviscon. So everything that I'm doing has to be within this experimental realm. So in XYZ equals XYZ, then bang, bingo. You know, I know items can fly across rooms. I know shadows can appear. I know noises and whistles can be in my ear by something I can't see. I know those things are real. But what I don't know is why or how.
I think what Dan has just said, Dan Bennett, you're only meant to see what you're allowed to see. I think I'm with him on this. I think there is some sort of rule, whatever it is. We're not allowed to see it, and it never is on cue. It's always spontaneous. We don't know how it works, but definitely there's a way it works, but we don't know how to control that, and that's just the way it's always going to be. Unfortunately,
by definition, the devil appears. I believe that is the devil. You know what I mean? It's that.
Yeah. Josh said something interesting in your podcast the other day. You've done with Crystal Paranormal, which ain't the witches come in, and I'll just state this now. He what did he say? He said something about the realm, the other realm. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was interesting. Something to do with him seeing the shadow and then going online and seeing other people's shadows that they've caught and not believing them, but he knows it can happen because he's seen it. So are they real? So he's confused. And I thought that was really interesting. Is like, even though there's a degree of fakery out there and you can watch these clips online and go, right, okay, that's fake. It's easy to judge, isn't it? We all do it. But maybe like 2 or 3% of them could actually be real. Well, Josh actually seen something with his own eyes. He didn't catch it on camera, so it was a personal experience for him, and it changed his life.
But I believe he's seen that, by the way.
Yeah, I believe he's seen it as well.
I believe 100% that these shadow figures that the ones where people have actually have captured them, they haven't faked it. I believe they've genuinely captured a shadow figure. But what that is, do you know what? That is your subjective belief system. Whatever you personally believe you think it is up to you. Because the thing with the paranormal realm and all of that stuff, there is no one answer. It's not as easy as going, this is a tub of Vic, this is Olbersoil. You know what I mean? Because you know, if I go, here's Olbersoil, you know what that is. It's good for your nose. You know what it smells like. You know what it tastes like. You know if you put it in your eye, it's going to burn. But these words with paranormal and these things that we're finding and witnessing, every single individual has their own perception of what it is, and I think everybody has a right to their own perception of what it is, and that's why a lot of the time we leave it to the public to decide.
Well, on that note, I think we should jump into this next thing.
We will.
I'm gonna make an announcement.
Let's do the comment. Let's do the comments first, Chris.
Yeah.
So we got Paul and Anne just having a chin wag. It's about what you're supposed to see. Something you never. It's about what you're supposed to see. Something you'll never control. I know. The analogy about the Gaviscon is very similar to Schrodinger's cat. Oh, don't even get started on bloody quantum mechanics and quantum physics. What happens if,
don't start him off.
What happens if this is all quantum? No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Hello, Craig.
You'll
how
have
are
it
you?
go on all evening. Hi, Craig. How you doing, mate?
Everyone's just saying hello to Craig.
I love the fact we got Ranger Paul in this evening, guys.
If
Honestly, if you haven't met Ranger Paul or you have not seen his channel, please go over to his channel, give him a like and subscribe. The guy is absolutely fantastic. Some of the videos he puts out, he makes you feel like you're there with him. So peaceful, so calm. Yeah, the guy has ADHD, so
do I.
it's unbelievable. Or no, but you're not peaceful and calm, dude. You don't make a peaceful video, do you? Have you seen Ranger Paul's video lately, Mark, where he's just out taking country walks, making you feel comfortable? Unbelievable.
What Motor Service just said then is very similar to what one of my friends said to me the other day. So one of my friends, he's like computational chemist, very sciencey, been one of my closest friends since I was 13 years of age, and he just said the same thing. So the thing with the word paranormal, one of the meanings is, so if you call something paranormal, one of the meanings is something with outside the scope of science, and such as telekinesis, for example, which I have no evidence for. But if you're using it as other than normal or something that isn't normal, we've already got words for that. And one of them's unidentified, another one's not normal, another one is strange, odd occurrence. So I actually made one the other day. This is quite funny. So my one is UPP, unidentified physics phenomenon. What do you think, guys? It's a UPP.
We got... Hello, Jason. Jason's in the house. Haunted sessions, guys. I will bring this up now. Now he's in the chat. This is absolutely fantastic news. We are going to be working with Haunted Sessions this week, actually. And
not saying the day,
Ranger
though.
Paul. Not saying the day or the location, but it's going to be a massive collaboration between 5 different channels. Haunted Sessions is part of that. Ranger Paul, Bristol Paranormal.
And Anne is doing her own thing now on a different day, I think.
And Twingo Paranormal is coming along, but I think she's doing her own thing. But it's a massive, massive investigation. It's all going to be filmed and it's going to be put online. It's pretty much the Hoppus sequel, put it that way. If you haven't watched Hoppus on our channel, I suggest you go over and watch it. It's just done really well. It went massive. A lot of people seen it. A lot of people hated it. A lot of people liked it. Yeah, so it's up to you what your opinion is, but I can tell you this now, none of it is fake. None of it. Absolutely none of it. And we're working with some legitimate teams as well. So yeah, you're not just taking on our channel, you're taking on 5 different channels there.
Hopefully it'll be a good one as well. We can't control what's going to happen though. It could be dead for all we know.
Yeah. We got Paranormal Walks coming with us, working with us as well. Stuart, he's a fantastic guy. Love his footage, man. Have you seen some of his captures, Mark, lately?
I'm not
some
gonna
of the stuff he's catching.
I've been bogged down with editing, so it's difficult.
No, you've been bogged down trying to fucking debunk Bristol Paranormal's new capture at the Limeworks, haven't you?
I thought I figured it out.
No, you haven't. New chat waffle.
Well, I don't know for certain, but I know it isn't coming round the bend. That's not our stuff though, but it isn't coming round the thingy. I put it into the edit suite and lightened it up. It comes from the ceiling. What's Dan saying? The only way you can understand ghosts of the paranormal is to actually believe in something, and if you don't, that's very sad, and you'll never believe in it because you're too shut off. I believe that enough to know it's a possibility.
I think you'd be pig ignorant not to say it's the paranormal, dude. You've seen items fly across the room.
I just call it unknown phenomenon.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's paranormal.
Yeah, but paranormal means telekinesis, and I don't think it's flown across the room due to telekinesis. See what I
What
mean?
planet are you on?
That's what I mean, because that's the definition of the word. If you Google it, it means like things like telekinesis.
Things like telekinesis. You have
Yeah.
to elaborate on this.
So mediumship,
It doesn't.
clairvoyancy, telekinesis, basically anything that doesn't comply with physics or science or anything like that is classified under the paranormal label. I would
Well,
say it's more. I don't know. My area where what I think about it is more in the extraterrestrial realms. So like dimensional shifts, uh, you know,
I think you're
breaches and
going too
dimensions and stuff
too
like
too
that.
deep with the word there. You're going more Pacific rather than just looking at it as a word to describe one particular thing. You're looking at it as
That's
a
no, but
different
that's what
kind of
I'm
thing to
saying. If
us.
you're if people are using it as a word as something abnormal, we've already got a word for that. It's called abnormal. The word's already invented. That's what I mean. So it's like
Yeah,
it's
but
100%
it's
abnormal, and it's 100% doesn't make any logical sense as far as I'm aware. But other than that, I don't know what it is until I look into it more. Which, like Dan's saying, I don't think we ever will find out because maybe we're not allowed.
no. I
And
think he's
very
right. I mean, he is right when he says certain people can be so closed off. He is right on that. People are closed off, and those people that are closed off don't tend to see anything at all. I think there's something to be said about that.
I mean, and he's like, so Anne says she's comfortable with her beliefs and not bother what people believe in, and Dan is saying, oh, he believes it's ghosts, which I think he's perfectly allowed to say that. Um,
Yeah,
and
I stand by.
I wanna say that Haunting the Truth as a whole, it's not one way forward thinking. Just because I say, oh, I think it's unknown, that doesn't necessarily make it the view. That's just my view.
Well, yeah, yeah.
There's
Mark's
several
not
people.
just to make this straight. Mark is not the only voice in this channel. There are five of us to be precise, and we all have our individual thoughts and beliefs. Mark is a very sort of like unusual purpose to this because you got to remember he was a debunker. Now, in respect, he was worse than Mr. Grey and Beardo and
Put
Parple
together.
put together. Believe me. And for him to come through that and openly say he's an open-minded skeptic now is pretty big. Like he's had to take a massive chunk of his humble pie out of that. But if he hadn't seen the things that he would see, the channel wouldn't be this. It
It would
wouldn't
be
be. It
completely
wouldn't exist.
different.
It would
It
be.
would just consist of me going to places and going, ha, see, told you. That's
Yeah.
what it would be.
But this is the difference between you and every other debunker out there, Mark. You actually went to locations 4 or 5 times every week. You wanted to see something. You were desperate to see it. You weren't this armchair keyboard warrior who would just judge everything. You went out there and you wanted to see it. You paid for years and years, a lot of money to go to these groups, and there's your respect right away from me. And that's what I found interesting about you because you were so desperate to see something.
Can I say
You
something
wanted
else as
to.
well? How I might talk here and now in my cozy bedroom with I think I think I'm somewhere in my head, I think I'm clashing with myself as well. I think there's definitely a part of my brain that does believe a lot more. And that side of my head sometimes comes out during places. So, for example, you know, in the moment at Poltergeist House when that noise came out of the attic, um, everything inside of me. I think I even said like on camera, there's some sort of portal up there. It's like a demon, right? And
Yeah.
that's not something I would normally say because at that moment in time, I
Yeah.
lost all balance of rational thought. So me in
Now,
an investigation is different to me calming down and sitting here and going, well, actually, I think you'll find that the collaboration, blah, 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 they're two different people. It's like I've got two people in my head.
Yeah. But you know what a lot of people don't understand is when we edit this, we have to look at it time after time after time, right? And we're sat there not knowing how to edit this. We go, how can we put this together? And, people accept it. This is difficult. It's really difficult. The only thing that we got back was people just going, oh, it's a toy in the loft. If we thought it was a toy in the loft, we would say, it's a toy in the loft. But it ain't no toy in the loft. It ain't. And if people want to judge it, that's absolutely fine. It ain't no toy in the loft. We've even gone to the owner, showed them the video of people saying
they go, oh, yeah,
it's a toy in the loft. And do you know what Mark, the owner laughed. She just laughed. She went, what did she say? She said they were clutching at straws. That's what she called it. So,
but they even said, because you got to remember that there was still a degree of skepticism in me, and I think, to a certain degree, it is important to not overly believe. So even in those situations where, when that toy first moved, I said to the owner, look, I can't rule out that this isn't the toy, that it isn't the electronics, that it isn't this and it isn't that. So what did they do? They gave it to me. They went, you take that, you take it home with you. You open it up, you examine it, you do what you want with it. Not once has that thing moved in my own room. Not once has it made that noise that people are claiming that it's making that noise of. Not once. So something...
Got it with you now.
Yeah, I firmly believe that something that's beyond our comprehension moved this. I believe that. I believe something that is outside of our realm of knowledge moved this. 100%.
Well, it did.
Yes.
And the thing is, we caught it on camera, fully in frame.
And of course...
And yet people just... Yeah.
Of course, and I think you're fully in your rights to call that paranormal. Because...
Yeah.
It displays that exact word.
We didn't call it paranormal, and we got called fake for not calling it paranormal. It's some sort of narrative.
How can you not call that paranormal when it's paranormal? And I went, well, how do I know it's telekinetic energy? How do I know that it's not, I don't know, low vibration that we can't feel, and or you know what I mean? How it's not like I've got about 1,000 measurement meters in the house where I can measure every single possible outcome.
I mean, we asked the owner what she thought it was that did it, and her response was, "Oh, it's a mongoose rat."
Yeah,
giant
a rat that makes a noise.
Mongoose rat. And I just went, "So you're not calling it a ghost, are you?"
Now I feel bad for Haunted Sessions here because he's saying he's never had anything at all. Now that must be really frustrating. Do you know what? I hope so much that when you come out with us soon, that something happens where you go, oh shit, and that's all that it did for me was this. Oh, I'm kind of wrong, because I went from none of this stuff is possible, everything has to comply with physics, blah 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 blah, to, oh wait a minute, that shit doesn't. Okay, something's real. I don't know what it is though. To this day, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's more scary, not knowing.
We got to stress that we do look at our footage 3 or 4 times, don't we?
Is it easier for you, in your mind, Dan, if you're still here, knowing that it's a spirit, or you believe it to be a ghost or a spirit? Because it really frustrates me not knowing what it is. So is it easier for you in your own mindset, having a stable structure going, this is what I think it is? I personally think...
I think he genuinely believes, doesn't he? He believes that's what it is, and that's it, yeah.
And saying, I personally think that some people won't see anything for a reason of how would it actually affect them mentally. This probably isn't making any sense.
Well, I'll answer this, right? I was told a long time ago that creating the right balance and the right group with all the right emotions, energies would work. But too many is overkill. So you have to have a good dynamic with your group, and not too many of you. And the taunting was a sideline, but it was dangerous, and no one else attempted it, whereas Mark did. Not even I attempt it. I don't do it, but Mark does. And you'll see if you watch the episodes, he is pedantic about doing whatever it takes to get the best activity, because he doesn't worry about the consequences. Now, I can sit here and say that's fine, but I'm not okay with that, really, because I don't know how it will affect me, because I know nothing about it all. I don't even mess with Ouija boards, even though I don't believe in them. And the reason why is because why would I take the chance on something actually existing? Just because I don't believe in them, don't mean to say they're not real. But why would I take the chance on it? You know?
Some would argue. Some would argue that why would you do it at all? Why would you even tempt this going into places?
Yeah, I mean, like they say, why do you not believe? Why are you not doing a Ouija board, but you don't believe? I don't understand that. You can't be scared of them because you don't believe. It's got nothing to do with that. It's all to do with the fact that it might, and that's enough to put me off. You know. So I don't taunt simply because I don't like the repercussions of it all. It's quite scary, and I've seen it firsthand from someone. I won't go too much into that, but it wasn't nice. And I've always said to Mark, you're messing with someone with no idea what it is, and you're not educated in it, and you wouldn't know what to do if it did affect you. But he don't care. he wants to have it. He wants to believe. He wants to have proof.
I envy people like that, like you, Robin. But being able to just go, I believe that it's spirits, because my brain doesn't stop.
Well, it is. She's right though. That's the thing, Mark. You know, you're right in what you do, but she's right in what she does, and I'm with her on this. I think there's a possibility, a big possibility. It is. I just think there's rule and discipline over there. Whatever it is, you know, if you listen to some of Ranger Paul's stories, they're so fascinating. They're absolutely amazing. Some of his stories will just blow your mind away, and I could sit and listen to that guy's live for hours and hours and hours. You know, he's had experiences which I believe 100%, absolutely believe. I don't know if he'd be happy about us going into it or not, but let us know, Paul.
We could do a little interview with you maybe at some point, Paul. Just like do a video interview where you can talk about stuff and go into a couple of things. It's maybe when we do a deep dive on you, if you wanted to add anything to it, maybe, Paul, that might be a good idea. Something in the future. But yeah, I mean,
I wanna bring some up now, Mark.
Go on.
So, Reese, I don't know real well. A long time ago, we were debunked by a certain man with.
No, we weren't.
We were debunked by a certain man with a beard. And it wasn't very nice for us to go through. But we have noticed that his video still gets interaction with people even today.
You know, they're so stupid. Some of them are so stupid. Honestly.
Some of the comments are just awful. And the thing is, the guy needs to take that video down because it's absolutely wrong. Wrong on all levels. And he is still responding to this day to the comments. And I don't know if you want to bring up the fucking the screenshot.
Well, the comment I seen is, I don't know. I don't want to go too far into this guy because he makes me feel like this.
Hate, double hate, loathe entirely.
Right? So I don't want to go too far into like what he's saying, what he's doing and not. But this is the comment in question, okay? This is the comment in question. And I've seen these guys caught on camera, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that, that's Paranormal was it? Oh, it was on that thing that we did with the people, blah blah blah. And then this is into the same theme of what we're talking about. This particular bloke claims to be a complete skeptic and has caught loads of stuff on camera. Now, what he's replying with is, they changed a while back, I think. Now, does that mean they changed their perception of what they believed a while back? Because in his second sentence is, for skeptics, they catch an awful lot of activity. Well, if you're saying we changed from being total skeptics a while back, then your second sentence doesn't make any sense. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Oh, where are you gone? Click the wrong button. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, though.
I'm really angry that he's still replying to people, yet he will not talk to us or even remotely.
Well, no, because he just
be
thinks
nice
that
to us one little bit.
He thinks we're just completely fake, and I can't.
Yeah, I know, and it's wrong because he's got no proof. He's got no proof of that at all, and he won't find any proof of that at all. I think it's a personal thing on you. That's what I think, anyway. And
at the same time, I can't control what someone, because we, at the end of the day, as much as I dislike the bloke, we live in a country where we have freedom to say what we want.
Yeah, he's entitled to it, and
he does
that's the
have
thing.
an opinion, but the problem is more so the stupidity of the followers just believing it flat out, flat rate, without even looking at both sides of the table.
Yeah.
If you watch us and you watch our video and you watch him and you watch his video and you still come to the conclusion of, actually, do you know what, I don't trust them, then have at it, right? Don't fucking watch us. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But anything
he's not
else,
telling anyone to go and make their. He's not telling anyone to go and make their own opinion.
And saying, why do I care? I'll only care if I think the video is actually personally affecting us in any way whatsoever. I only care when people and other teams really look up to him and they will discard us because he has put a stamp. He has blacklisted us. And by blacklisting us, you then affect other paranormal investigators out there. And there's only a couple people, like Haunted Sessions, who I know has been friendly with Dale in the past, who, says that you're not guilty by association. You've got Kate or Kat that's in here, which I know likes him as well, who also likes our stuff, which I completely respect. But when it starts...
For those people, amazing.
When it starts getting to a point where, people are going, I've not got any evidence for it yet, so I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. But if I ever message somebody and they message back going, we don't want anything to do with you because so-and-so said something, then I'm going to have an issue. Then I have a problem with that. Until then, or until he makes another video or makes any other statements on us or myself, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, he's done well. He's done really well with his channel, and he's got a lot of people behind him, supporting him, which is fine. So you can understand, people are gonna take his word as gospel, 100%. But I mean, we got nothing to hide. We got all the raw footage, mate. I just don't understand it. Like, they don't want to see it. They don't want to come out. They don't want to, But we've got teams that do want to work with us and network, and it's really nice of them to do that. Even the people in the chat at the minute, they're so supportive, aren't they? They've got our back 100%.
We're not going to be able to convince those people to, if they've seen us and they've seen him and they've seen both and they're still in that mindset, we're not going to be able to convince them otherwise. Trying to convince them otherwise is in the same... Hold on a minute,
Mark. Sorry. See you later, Ted. Have a good one, mate.
Is he off, is he?
Yeah, he's going to go, yeah. Thanks for joining the live.
Dave, who was asking? Was it Dave? Dave was asking something. Can you post a counter video? Of course I can. Is that one there?
Hello, Anne-Marie.
Oh,
Anne-Marie in.
Glad you made it. Has anyone else got anything in this sort of subject matter of belief, what you personally believe in, what you think about me as a on the fence character?
Yeah, please, and just be honest with Mark. What would you like to see of him? Because
if you think
do you Do you agree with his way? Do you agree with the people and what they've saying about him? What is it exactly?
Guys, I'm gonna go jump in a hot bath. That's not gonna help that ache, is it? You're gonna eat yourself up even more. What you want, Jason, is a lukewarm bath. So not too hot, not too cold, somewhere in the middle.
Just put a cold flannel on your head, mate.
You're gonna get
Ice
out of
cap.
that
That's
bath
what you
and
need.
you're
You
gonna
need
be
you need an ice cap.
roasting. I think
Ice
Mark will
cap
never
and
believe.
dissolvable paracetamol, they kill a headache, no problem.
It depends, Anne-Marie, what happens. I have to believe in what I see in front of my very face, like, by definition. Like, I have to believe that an item comes off the floor by itself, seamlessly.
No,
I have to believe that.
I think what Anne has just
Anne-Marie
said, I
or
think
Anne?
she's spot on. Yeah,
Wait.
Anne-Marie. I think what she's just said is Mark will never believe, to be honest, and that I think it's true. I think we're never gonna catch a ghost on camera, dude. So you're never gonna believe. So this is you now. What we've caught is probably as good as it gets, and that's exactly what a lot of people will say.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a full apparition. I'm not gonna lie, right? If I was out somewhere, let's say we were out somewhere, and right, let's say someone has passed in my family, for example. Let's use it as an example. And then I was like, oh, can you come and communicate with me? And then I heard their voice. Right? That would change everything as well. That would flip side me completely.
I think it's not going to be any footage. It's not going to be an investigation which will change you. I think it's going to be a personal experience outside Haunted the Truth that will make you think different or believe, because I think when it comes down to what we do as Haunted the Truth, I think you are so fixed in this role that you play as an open skeptic, and you genuinely enjoy trying to work things out as a person, and you can't disagree with that.
In life I do, yeah. In life I'm very like, wait, how's that, why is that doing that? I need to, why? Like, if someone shows me a magic trick, I'm like, right, tell me how that's done. Because that's going to piss me off that I don't know how it's done. And then I have to know. That's just who I am as a person. So, even if a ghost, let's say, physically formed in front of me and went, I'm a ghost, and then I go, okay, I believe in ghosts. My next question is, well, how does that work? I need to know more. I need an interview. I need you to sit down. I need you to tell me what it's like there, what happens when you're there. Are you, like, do you feel pain? Do you do this? What's there to expect? Is it infinite? Are you there forever? Are you going to be reincarnated? How does this work? I'd want to know all of it, not just a little bit.
Believe me, guys, it just does his head in. You can't accept it for what it is. That's
so
the problem.
Sometimes I just go, I don't know, and then move on.
I mean, look. If you look at what people are actually saying, you've got Twingo Paranormal. She agrees with what I've just said. You've got Anne-Marie. She said, you won't believe it, though, the amount of things that has happened, which is true, which is what people are saying about you, Mark. That has happened, and you still haven't said you believe in spirits.
Which
bit? You won't ever believe.
Which bit? I think he's doing fine in his journey to discover. I think there's more conflict. You're more of a conflicted team. I'm conflicted in my own head, let alone in the team. Can't argue with your methods. They work. You won't believe it, though. The amount of things that has happened and you still haven't said you believe in spirits suggests that you won't believe it. Well, that's because we haven't got evidence to say it's a spirit.
I got to agree with him on that. We haven't got a... Well, I mean, we've got voices.
If something falls out... If something...
We've had intelligent responses.
If something... Okay, I'm going to put this to you as like a different analogy. So let's say you're walking under a building, and on that building above you is a tree, is an apple tree, but then somebody else is eating their lunch and they've got sandwich and apple, but then above that someone's on a balcony and they're also eating apples, and then an apple falls and hits you on the head. Now you don't instantly go, well, that was from the tree, because there's other options there that it could have been. And that's how I look at this, like, when something happens in an event, I can't objectively say what it is.
you're looking at things that are more common sense, mate. Like there's common sense, and then there's things that are
No,
like
but
not
that's
explainable.
the only thing that I could think of because like, let's be
Yeah,
fair, Chris, we're not the most smartest people in the fucking world. There's people out there like you know the likes of Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson, which know so much more than us. So for all we know,
yeah,
we
yeah,
could
yeah.
we could take a piece of footage to a physicist, and they might turn around and go, "Oh, that's to do with the state of disorder within the quantum." Realignment of the fourth dimension. You know what I mean, or something like that. I just made that up, by the way.
I've always said that, Twingo, that we're not allowed to know, and I genuinely believe that we're not allowed to know.
I agree. You're not.
It's a hard one to really think about, isn't it? You know, and there's not much more you can do than take a few cameras and go out to a location and try and find something. Like he said earlier, I feel sorry for some of the teams that haven't caught nothing, but I mean, perhaps they have, but they might not have looked through their footage as ruthless as what we do, because that's one thing that we do. We look through our footage not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the reason we do this is because we got a process when we edit together. Because Mark doesn't edit alone, we edit together, right? So this is what we do. We
Well,
line it up,
yeah.
and we're looking through it while we line up, and then we look at it again as a separate thing completely. We look at the audio as a separate thing completely, and then we go through and we eliminate crap. We eliminate it. So basically, we're taking a 90-minute football game and turning it into match of the day for you. And the stuff that we get rid of is usually just a lot of silence and a lot of waiting around and a lot of stuff that, you know, we think genuinely is boring and is not worth it. But Mark doesn't disregard all those things. We still have all the raw footage because he's paid a lot of money to keep all that raw footage. So if anyone does bring up, we want to see your raw footage, we've got it. End of story.
Here's the other thing as well. I will
And
defend
then,
that stuff to the ends of earth.
You will, I know you will, but we will also go through it again after we've cut it up to edit it properly and put it into some sort of enjoyable story-based thing for you. Everything's real, but we look at the footage over 3 times and we try and find on the third time voices, anything that we might have missed, movements, locked off cameras. We're watching. He's watching one side, I'm watching the other side, and we're watching it together. And anything we see, we go, right, timestamp.
Believe me, B, yeah, believe me, B, we are both looking, and especially for me, for my own personal journey, I am looking for this evidence to just say, yes, it's this, or yes, it's that. Like, what you're saying there is, like, Dave's like, but why would you accept an apparition if you've seen it? Well, in the same way that I accept an item comes off the floor by itself, because I've seen it. So if like, I don't know, let's say I went to a house and it was like haunted by apparently this lady called Mary Jane, and they had a picture of Mary Jane on a thingy, and then I was in the room, Mary Jane, are you here? And then Mary Jane physically had formed, and then she said something that only Mary Jane would know, like the code to the box or something, and then the picture matched her description.
How you doing, mate?
Yes, of course I'd believe it. But I can tell you one thing, right?
Bristol Paranormal Hunters are in the house, mate. They're here.
A believer, most believers, if let's say there was a massive actually I that's for another day. Otherwise I'm gonna go off on a tangent. I agree. Wait. Let's read comments. Hang on. If you knew there was a heaven exists and it was all peaceful 100%, people would go killing themselves. I don't believe that would be true, because they also chuck in the suicide is one of the greatest sins. So by definition, you would go to hell. Therefore, you won't kill yourself.
Who said this?
And Twingo.
Oh, and Twingo. Yeah, I mean, she has got a point though. A lot of people would, not everyone, but a lot of people would, because the suicide rate is just astronomical. Let alone the belief system. Put that aside, right? But what you want to look at there is, if there was a better place to go in, I would recommend you go and listen to Ranger Paul, and I know she does, right? And a lot of what he says about the purgatory and all this type of stuff, there's a lot to it. And if it is a thing, then there's more to it than what we think. It's not as simple as kill yourself and go on to another place. But yeah, apart from that, I don't think I would have the guts to top myself.
Right.
Plus, I've got reason to,
Dave.
I've got reason to live.
Dave. Okay, you got to remember we film as well, so a lot of that stuff, it being in the head, is going to be on camera. You don't even want to know how many times in that bloody farm that we just did, where we heard something, we were like, we have to check it back. We have to make sure we're not going mental, despite the fact all three of us heard it, just to make sure that we weren't having a hysterical hearing thing state. And then lo and behold, it's on the camera. I'm not going to say what, but it's mental. It's bloody mental. I need another thingy of going, that's mental, that's. But a button to press. Purgatory or suicide. Yeah, so I don't. That's the biggest thing. Religion will rely on people not killing themselves, because there's people that are out there that do truly believe in God. They devote themselves to God. They do. They stop. What's it called? I can't think of the word that's used, but basically they stop doing any sexual activities. What's the word? Celibate. They become celibate, and then they stop talking completely. But they're not going to kill themselves, because if they do that, you're going to hell, according to the writings. That is.
Don't know.
The mad world.
It's all a fact.
This is why it's the mad.
It's all a fascinating thing.
This is why it's the mad world of the paranormal, because it's like, I think belief is an objective thing. It's personal to the individual.
Well, it's the whole reason we do what we do. Because if it was a flat out truth, none of this would be a thing. We would just accept it like the color orange, and that's it.
Oh, and if I believed it was actually demons or actually something negative 100%, there's not a chance I would go out and even look for it. That's like saying I know bears are real, and then going actually into a forest and fighting a bear. You know what I mean? You wouldn't do it.
I don't think we actively went out looking for demons anyway. I think we just come across a few negative things, and that's just spontaneous, to be honest. And we after an investigation, what we tend to do, guys, is we sit there and we sort of debrief, and we talk about it, and that's our calming down period. And where Mark is at in the moment when something weird happens is different the next day with him. You start rationalizing it slowly over time, and it's his way of coping. And my way of coping is to sit there with Dan, and we talk about what it could be in a different sense to what Mark does, because I do like to have a little bit of hope, because a lot of people don't know this, and I'll say this now. My brother passed away, and he died 10 years ago. And I'm telling you now, it was awful for me, and I just can't even describe the grief that I go through. But what it does do is it helps that, and it really does help that and support that. And I want to believe, because I want to have a little bit of hope that I'll see him again. And could that be a reason for why I'm standing up for the paranormal in some way, or I'm saying, that it's, that things are paranormal? Maybe, but since I've been catching it on film, the camera doesn't lie, right? So when people are saying, oh, you haven't seen that, you haven't heard that, well, camera says different. I have. So it's really, really helped me in a different way, and I'll carry on doing it simply for that reason alone. And I know that there are teams in this chat right now that are going through the same situation as me. And, a lot of people don't know that about me, and it's really difficult. And Mark changing his belief system in some way, shape, or form has also benefited me, because I've had someone to go along and do this with, because I wouldn't do it alone, and I'm pretty damn sure he wouldn't do it alone. So people coming together for these reasons, even though they're different, is a good thing. It's positive, and it creates a dynamic in a group, which you need. But I'm telling you now, if he was still a skeptic, a complete skeptic, I wouldn't be on this live right now. I wouldn't be doing it with him.
If we had been capturing what we had caught, and then I was still going, wow, do you know what? That could have been the wind, or that could be pipes, or you know, those the normal things that you could possibly think of. I know it isn't those things. I just know it isn't. I know it's something bigger and grander than what I could possibly ever understand. It's something. As much as you want to, like, even if you want to believe in spirits and ghosts and stuff like that, I think this is something that's well beyond our scope of understanding. It's so out there that it's kind of like trying to imagine nothing. It's impossible for you to physically imagine nothing, but because by simply imagining nothing, you're imagining something, because you're imagining the word nothing.
Hello, Ryan. You all right, mate?
So to understand the
Sorry.
comprehension of the paranormal realm, it's like, ugh, it gets complicated.
I just read some of the comments going through. Hello, Ryan. Just going through, seeing Ranger Paul has just given me permission to elaborate on his experiences, which I am going to do.
Yeah, on that, before you
we
do,
can both
though,
do it.
I want to say that I'm never going to take away what someone's personal belief is and how that helps them get through grief and what they personally want to believe. And if that's the thing they think it is, they're perfectly acceptable to do that. And I would never take that away from an individual.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably more scared of the idea, mainly because I'm like, wait, does that mean my relatives are watching me? And then I'm like, shit, what have I done? What have I done? I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. And I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I am in trouble. That's what I do. So that scares me a little bit. What's Motive saying? Hang on. That's what happened with Conan Doyle. When his family died, he turned to mysticism and depression, and he hated Harry Houdini for exposing the mediums and scammers.
Yeah. It's a hard one, isn't it? It's difficult.
But at the same time, I think people that are faking mediumship, that are doing cold reading and hot reading and using the methods of Darren Brown, I think that's disgusting, because they're targeting people.
It's wrong. It is wrong.
If you're genuine, then fair enough.
I think the genuine people are the people that don't profit from it financially.
Yeah, but do you know what, Chris? The thing is, if you've got a genuine gift like that, and it's a good skill, and it's technically a skill, you've got. I kind of understand why you would utilize it for payment. If I suddenly
I know, but I
haven't been able to do stuff.
That's just my personal opinion, dude. I'm not right.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. My opinion is, I believe Sean and Bill. They come along with us and they gave us some accurate information without knowing anything. And I'm going, wow. You can watch that episode on our channel, by the way, guys. Is it Snuff Mills with Sean and Bill? They're two mediums. Fantastic. So if you do want to watch that, you will enjoy that. On another note, I do want to go into Ranger Paul's experience. I think that is one of the most fascinating things, and I know you find it fascinating, Mark.
That's scary, is what it is.
Ranger Paul has crossed over in his time, and he passed away. How long did he die for, Mark?
Was it a minute? Something like that? Wasn't very long.
He said he was on the slabs, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. So he had the sheet over him and everything, and he woke up and scared everyone. Now in that time,
that's quite funny. I just imagine him coming. Roar!
Yeah. And very deceiving, mind. The guy's huge. The guy's really tall, isn't he? You can imagine how scary that must have been. Anyway, with that, he said that there was an experience on the other side, and he was in some sort of different place, where some purgatory kind of place. Purgatory, yeah. So where he had to answer some questions. There's some dark shadows in the corners, and they were asking him and telling him what he'd done wrong, and he had to tell them and prove to them what he had done right. And eventually they said, it's not your time. So he came back. And the weirdest thing, he was not remotely into religion before he died. And he came back and he suddenly was very religious. And also he could speak fluent Latin.
You can take that or leave it, people, really. because obviously you can. There's no way to. It's his personal opinion. It's his personal belief. And there's no way for me to turn around and go, "You're not telling the truth," or "You are telling the truth," because we've never experienced it ourselves. It's one of those it is what it is moments that you know, I asked him loads of questions. I was like, did you believe in this beforehand? Did you believe in God beforehand? And those are very important questions to ask, because if you are highly in believing in God, there's a chance that when you go into this state of DMT, when you're dying, you're going to see the things that you believe in. But the fact that he didn't is what interested me the most.
Yeah, it's so fascinating, isn't it? And I've met a lot of people that have crossed over, and I asked them questions, and they're all different, the answers. The one answer I didn't like, when I asked a scientist once, and he had crossed over, and I turned around to him and I said, like, so what's your view then? Do you think there's anything after death? And his answer was, yeah, well, we cease to exist, like you were never born. Now some would counter that and actually say, no, you just go back to the beginning, which is quite nice, really. You go back to the beginning. I like that as an answer, but some people have said they've seen light. I know I've never spoke about this, Mark, and I'll speak about it now. I'm emotionally I'm stronger to talk about it. But before my brother died, he said that everything was white. Um, said everything was white. Everything lost color, and he died slowly. But that slow, he could have a conversation with me before dying and passing on, and everything felt warm, really warm. And he said those things, and the most strangest situation was he didn't die in a way where it was like you would see in the movies. It was so bizarre. He died, but his body, his movements were still active. Like he was right next to me, he was in my arms, and the most peculiar thing was he was still having twitches. There was still movement. There was still air coming out of him.
Well,
It was weird.
after the yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
there was a point. There was
rigor
a
mortis
he
and
was
stuff,
dead.
isn't it?
He was dead, mate, and his arms were still moving.
Yes, I
Like,
think
and
I know why
this,
what causes that, but yeah.
I know there's logic behind that, but the thing is, with the conversations I
But the
was having while
conversation
he
I
was
don't,
dying,
yeah.
it's so weird. He said everything's white, Chris. Everything's warm now. Oh my God.
Anne Marie's just
Oh,
scared me
there's
as
some.
well.
What's she saying? What's
But
Anne Marie saying?
it's on what you're talking about, to be honest with you. It's within the realms of that. Um so you obviously spoke about Ranger Paul as well, and she said that she obviously works in a care home and probably had a lot of near death experiences around her. And she said that the
Yeah,
people that have come back have told them that their whole lives have showed to them and all the rights and wrongs that they've done. That
that's exactly what Paul was telling us.
that for me is a statistic, a higher statistic chance now. You know what that's done in my head though. It means it's more likely to be true if it's, you know what I mean. It's, and I'm not, by the way, Paul, I'm not for 1 minute saying your experience wasn't true. I'm just saying when you got multiple accounts of the same thing from many different
How
people,
long? How long?
that's when
How
it
long
has
did you
to be
die
taken
for,
serious.
Paul? Paul's in the chat, guys, so feel free to ask him questions. But how long did you die for? I can't quite remember exactly how long it was for.
And saying no. So hang on. Ryan said he's Catholic and believes in reincarnation, which is kind of confusing to me because if I'm right in saying reincarnation is only in Hinduism, and in the Christian belief system it's not reincarnation in the sense that you come back as another person. It's more you will all get brought back in paradise at some point in the future when Jesus decides to come back to Earth with the horsemen and mix things up. But I don't think that reincarnation in the sense of you become another animal or another person is a belief system within Christianity. It's a Hinduism thing, that. And I believe in reincarnation as well, so blah, blah, blah. You've got different belief again, though, Al, haven't you?
I think there's something to be said about reincarnation. I can definitely get on board with it all, 100%. I mean, like, that's why I said the whole saying of going back to the beginning was such a fascination to me as a question, you know. I think everyone, even if people are Catholic, they have the right to believe in it, mate. They don't have to follow what's written down, you know.
No. But it was the fact that you went, I'm a Catholic and believe in this. I was like, well, hang on.
Yeah, but you
I went to
can't,
Catholic
you know,
school, but I believe in my
no.
own destiny. Okay, yeah. I'm very pedantic then about the religion. I've studied a lot about it. That's what a lot of people don't realise as well, is that I've actually gone out of my way to look at both sides of the piece of paper. So I watch countless Neil deGrasse Tyson videos. I look at physics stuff. I even tried to do an undergraduate in physics and try and learn things to learn more about it, but the numbers and the equations do my head in. But then at the same time, I've been reading through the Bible. I've been looking at other people's beliefs. I've been looking at, what Hinduism says, what Buddhists say. I'm trying to build a puzzle and put the pieces together. So to try and find something.
I'm not going to be able to stick around for much longer. I'm going to have to shoot, but it's been absolutely great talking to you all, and
how long have we been going for?
I hope you can. I do hope you can take away something from this live, even if it's just something small. But this live was pretty much about the frustrations of people not believing us simply because why should Mark be a skeptic still, despite all the stuff that we've caught? He's not a skeptic. He's an open skeptic. He's a very frustrating person, and this is how I'll say it. I'm the sorry asshole that has to put up with it. Because when we do see something, and I'm going, wow, he's there going, But when
it depends, doesn't it, though? It depends what it is.
When it is weird, when it is really weird, and it is freaky, what you'll have is a keyboard go across the room, and he'll be laughing in the corner.
I do. You don't see this, so in the edit, this is sort of what I do. So let's say, I'll give you an example before you go. So when we were listening to the hanging tree, and we were just watching through, looking for shadows, and then all of a sudden it went, sorry. This was me. These came off. I launched them to the desk, and then I did this.
Yeah, he did, yeah. And he did that for about 5 minutes, and I had to sit there watching him.
I stormed around.
Maybe what we should do is we should sometimes film screen record us editing, and so people can see what we're like. Because believe it or not, guys, I know this sounds really, really strange, but we argue a lot. we get heated. We do get heated with each other.
It'd be boring to put out just as a video. We'll put it on a Patreon or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, thank you to everybody. Before we go, thank you to everybody that supported us along this way and helped us get to the. I know we've said it about many times now, but thank you so much for everybody who has been with us, just found us, just subscribed to us now, been supporting us, been watching all our content, been out there watching things over and over and over again on different computers to get the watch hours up. Yeah, that all means so much. We do now have memberships. We do have now the ability to send super messages and super chats and stuff like that. That's not me going wink wink nudge nudge. You better send some money. That's just it's there if you want to. If
Hold
you want
on.
to, you can.
Minutes.
Then yeah.
Before we go, Ranger Paul said it was minutes after I had blood put into me and was different bed several times. Right, yeah, so minutes, I suppose. Again, if you're new and you've just joined, go over to Ranger Paul's channel, give him a subscribe. The guy is fantastic. Honestly, I can't recommend another channel
Just look out for
more
his
than
lives.
his channel.
His lives are so like
They're just amazing, and we will be joining him very, very soon, along with a load of other channels like Bristol Paranormal Hunters and Paranormal Walks and Haunted Sessions. We will be going out with them, and it will be the biggest collaboration going. And yes, it will all be filmed and it will all be put online. I'm gonna have to shoot now. So
yeah. Is everyone else gonna go, or am I carrying on? That's the question. If you've got to go, then you go.
Do you want Mark to carry on? Is the question.
Because I could probably push it to past.
What are you up to?
If you want me to stay and talk to just chat about stuff, chat about less about us going on about me and more about what you lot think.
I like what Dave's just said. They'll accuse you of faking that. Well, Dave, here's the thing. They're going to have to call out 5 channels, 5 legitimate channels. And if they got the balls to do that, go for it. Because I'm telling you now, without saying too much, we are ready for that.
Looks like a few people are shooting, so we'll probably wrap up. Because everybody's probably gonna shoot off now. So thanks for joining this evening. And what we got coming up? So we got me and Josh went to a medieval church in the middle of the woods. That's coming up. We got the podcast Bristol Paranormal that I did with Josh, where he finally got to meet them. We have got the return to the farmhouse with Billy. We decided to take him there and give him the experience. And then we've got this big group duo meetup that's going to be later down the line. All shall be revealed. Until then, thank you so much for joining. There's Kiefer Sutherland.
You jealous, Mark?
No, because I've got a signature up there of his.
Oh, right. Whatever.
I trump you. Thank you, and I namaste, and
see you later, people.
Thank you for joining. If I don't see you again, good afternoon, good morning.
I'll be in touch soon, Robin. And by the way, I did hear about your news, and I'm so sorry. And I will talk to you soon. Yeah, I'll see you later.
Yeah,
I'm off.
And for myself, if I don't see you again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.